much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 30 years ago today, the infamous holdings in Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey were reversed by the Dobbs decision, brilliantly written by Justice Samuel Alito, who hails from my state and from my home county, joined by the majority of the U.S. Supreme Court, and they said this: the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion, and they went on to return to the people and their elected representatives the authority to regulate or prohibit abortion, close quote. A new national debate on abortion began 3 years ago, and while there will be setbacks along the way, every human rights struggle has them. I believe that growing numbers of Americans are finally recognizing the cheap sophistry, the mega deception, and the culture of denial that devalues and disrespects unborn baby girls and unborn baby boys and trivializes the harm suffered by women. The comprehensive 2025 nationwide Marist poll found that Americans are against taxpayer funding of abortion, both at home and overseas in our foreign aid, strongly supports pregnancy care centers, very strongly supports them, and wants significant restrictions on abortion. A large number of elected representatives have passed pro-life laws to protect unborn children, including the state of Texas. And when a heartbeat can be detected at around 6 weeks in states like Florida, Georgia, Iowa, South Carolina, or when the child suffers excruciating physical pain, as we know they do from the abortion procedure, particularly as the child is being dismembered. That's a procedure used to kill these children at about 12 to 15 weeks. To date, 24 states have enacted pro-life laws to protect unborn children and women from the violence of abortion. Meanwhile, I'm happy to say there are more than 2,700 pregnancy care centers throughout the United States, each and every one of them an oasis of love, compassion, empathy, respect, and care for both mothers and their precious children. Abortion extremists in several states, on the other hand, including in my own state of New Jersey, have enacted anti-child laws that legally authorize killing unborn babies right up until the moment of birth, and also forcing taxpayers to subsidize the violent deed. Twice, the Democratic House-led House of Representatives passed extremist legislation that would have explicitly sanctioned abortion throughout all 9 months of pregnancy, again, right up until the moment of birth, and would have nullified even modest restrictions enacted over the past half-century, including informed consent, waiting periods, and parental notification statutes. Let me just point out to my colleagues, the so-called abortion pill, mifepristone, is baby poison. It kills the unborn infant by starving the innocent child to death. I do a lot of work on the Foreign Affairs Committee over the years on food security. I've written 2 bills that passed the House called the Global Food Security Act. I'm all about, as we all are, mitigating hunger in our hometowns and across the world. What does mifepristone do? It starves the baby to death. The little child can't get the nutrients he or she needs to survive. This statement by Dr. Francis makes it clear it leads to starvation and eventual death to the fetal human being. We also know now, however, that mifepristone is extremely dangerous to women as well. And this is especially important because this dangerous drug is used to procure abortion 60% of the time, 6 out of 10 abortions in the United States. On April 28, 2015, the Ethics and Public Policy Center released a report entitled, "The Abortion Pill Harms Women. Insurance data reveals 1 in 10 patients experience a serious adverse event." The key findings were that women who take this drug experience sepsis, infection, hemorrhaging, and other serious adverse events within about 45 days of taking it. It was the largest study ever, known study of the abortion pill, 28 times as many abortions as were included in all FDA to date clinical trials combined. So this is the mega study, and it found what was not found earlier, because in many cases, those trials were sham trials. Let me also point out that it needs to be revisited. We call on the FDA to look at what has been done to women because of this terrible, terrible abortion drug. Let me just conclude before yielding to my very distinguished colleagues. I believe that future generations of America will someday look back on us and wonder how and why a society that bragged about its commitment to human rights could have legally sanctioned and aggressively promoted abortion by child starvation or by dismemberment, beheading, chemical poisoning, and forced expulsion from the womb. I call on my colleagues to defend life, and I also would point out, in an information age, they will wonder, as I do now, how was it that so many were deceived into believing that somehow abortion is safe? It's never safe for the baby, and it's certainly not safe for the mother as well. The injustice of abortion violence need not be forever, and we stand united in trying to protect those innocent human beings. We are joined now by our very distinguished Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and I yield whatever.